Hi guys, this is Eve from Ovaniz, and today we have a special wedding toppers tutorial in which we're going to make not one but two different kind of cake toppers. First we're going to make a bride and groom fondant figures, and the second one is we're going to make a handwriting cake topper out of fondant. And if you're only interested in the handwriting topper, you can skip to minute 56 and there's even a special surprise for you, so let's get started. For this tutorial, we will use approximately 300 grams of black fondant, 500 grams of white fondant, from which I also made the skin color fondant, a precision knife, 3 skewers, Ovaniz sculpting tools, and some gold luster dust. These tools are of course for the fondant figures and the fondant handwriting topper as well. Before we get started, I would like to point out that there are two kinds of bride and groom figures that you can make. And the first one is the regular cartoon-like character. And you can find the free tutorial about this on our website or on our channel. The links is down below. And the second one is our premium product, the photo to fondant sculpting tutorial, the hit that conquered the decorating world. And it basically means that you can sculpt a fondant figure copied from a picture. So if you are making your relative's wedding cake or just want to surprise them with a unique topper, you can download this tutorial and the link is down below. So we will start with the skirt base, and we will use 90 grams of Rice Krispies and 80 grams of marshmallows. Okay, so pop the marshmallows into the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time. I think it will take 2 times to melt the marshmallows, and mix in the Rice Krispies. Be very careful, the marshmallow is very hot, so mix it a little bit with the spoon until it cools down, and then put some shortening on your hands because this is very sticky, and mix it together. Mix it very well. Mix it until it's all glued together. And now when it's all mixed together, we are shaping it into a cone shape. And set it out to dry until it's hard. It is very important to let it dry because if we will start sculpting our figure right now, it will just fall apart. After a few hours, our base is completely dry and we can start making the upper body. For the upper body, we will use 75 grams of skin color fondant. Roll the fondant between your hands into a rounded rectangle shape, approximately 8 cm long and 4 cm wide. Pinch out the neck on the top. Push out the breast using your index fingers. And create a waistline at the bottom. Create the line between the breast using the veining tool and smooth the breast to make it rounder. This is how it's supposed to look like when finished. And don't forget about the back. The back is not in a straight line, it has an indent, so work on it as well. Now I'm creating the collarbone. Using the Dresden tool, I'm just indenting it into the neck and on the sides. And now we can attach it to the body. We'll be using the skewer, so insert the skewer into the skirt first. Afterwards, very slowly and carefully insert the skewer into the body. Don't use one pushing motion because you will squeeze the body we just made. Just turn the skewer around until you are through. Check that everything is okay, that everything is in place, fix if needed, and we are ready for the next step. Next step is the arms, and we will use 50 grams of ivory colored fondant. Roll the fondant in between your hands into a long rope shape, approximately 15 centimeters long, and cut it in two. Make one side of the arm thinner. We're not making the hands because our bride is holding a bouquet and it is hidden. So we just need to thin it out and fold it in half. Pinch out an elbow. Repeat with the second arm and set them aside to dry, and in the meanwhile we will make the dress. Next we will make the top of the dress, and we will use 15 grams of white fondant. Roll it into a long rectangle, approximately 2 millimeters thick. The rectangle is supposed to be about 12 centimeters long and 8 centimeters wide, and it is better you cut a little bit more because we can always cut off the excess. Goes on the top of the corset, so I'm just making 2 marks to see where I need to cut, and using the precision knife I'm cutting out the triangles. Wrap the fondant around the upper body. You can use small amount of water to help you if your fondant doesn't stick by itself. And attach the white fondant to the body so it will take the shape of the body we made. Next is the skirt. We are going to make a layered skirt, so we're going to make it piece by piece. So roll out a piece of fondant into a long strip. So cut off the thin edges of the strip and cut it in half, so each strip is about 2.5 centimeters long, wide. Don't worry about it not being straight on the ends. It doesn't really matter, it even looks better this way. So I'm making folds to create ruffles. And I'm attaching it to the base from the bottom, and we are building our way up. Same from the back. And repeat the same steps until you reach the top of the dress. To hide the seam between the corset and the dress, cut out a half centimeter wide strip of fondant and wrap it around the body. You can leave it like that, or you can make a little bow out of fondant as well. And we need to attach the arms to the body, so I'm using a little bit of water to help me to stick it to the body, and I'm smoothing the fondant from the arm onto the shoulder as well, just a tiny bit. Okay, hold it a little bit so it would stick. Same process with the second arm. Now, to hide the seam lines between the hands and the body, we will make 2 shoulder straps. Just cut 2 thin stripes of fondant and lay them over the seams. So for the final touch, we're going to make the bouquet just by cutting thin stripes out of fondant, rolling them together and creating a very simple rose. And our bride fondant figure is ready. Of course, you can decorate the dress as you like, just use your imagination. Next is the groom. We will start with making the pants, and we will need 70 grams of black fondant for each leg. Roll the black fondant in between your hands into a long rope shape, approximately 12 centimeters long. Smooth all the fondant. I already made the first leg, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to pinch out a knee to make an indent behind the knee and shape it as trousers. Roll it a little bit in between your fingers to create the indents in the middle of the leg, and push the fondant a little bit to create the back side of the knee. I'm making the line to look like the trousers are pressed. Indent a little bit at the bottom of the leg with the ball tool. We are going to place the shoes there, and we want to create the look of the end of the pants. Check that your legs are the same size, and we are making some lines and creases to make it look a little bit realistic. So take a rounded knife or a skewer and just make lines in the middle of the leg. Insert a skewer in the middle of the pant. Be careful not to deform our leg. Leave the skewer sticking out of the pants for about 5 centimeters so we could attach the shoes and insert the figure into the cake later. Next, other shoes. Take 2 small pieces of black fondant, roll them into an oval shape, and then press with your finger on one of the ends to create a shape that looks like a shoe. Repeat with the second one and set them aside to dry a little bit. We will attach them later on. Next is the upper body. We will use 105 grams of white fondant, and we will shape it into a rounded rectangle shape. approximately 8 centimeters long and 6 centimeters wide. Shape a small waistline and insert the upper body onto the skewers. Next we will shape the neck and attach it on top of our body. Pull the skin color fondant down. This part is going to be visible from the shirt. Take a small piece of white fondant and we're going to make a part of the shirt, and we're only making the part that is visible underneath the jacket. So take a small piece, roll it into a rectangle, cut out a hole in the middle. I'm using a piping tip. Put the short piece over the neck and attach it to the body. For the collar, we'll roll out a small piece of white fondant, cut out a thin strip and put it around the neck. Cut off the excess fondant in an angle. For the jacket, roll out a piece of black fondant and cut out a long rectangle. It's supposed to cover the front and the back, so make it at least 24 centimeters long. In the middle, cut out a hole for the neck. Again, I'm using a piping tip for help, and with a precision knife, make it into a teardrop shape. Put it on top of the shirt and attach the fondant on the sides. Cut off the excess fondant with the precision knife. And don't push too hard on the jacket, just let it fall. We want to create a loose feeling. Cut the excess fondant at the bottom if you have some. To make the collar for the jacket, cut out 2 thin and long triangles out of black fondant and attach to the jacket. To make the arms, take a small piece of black fondant, roll it in between your hands into a long rope shape, approximately 16 centimeters long, and cut it in half. Afterwards, bend it a little bit and pinch out an elbow. Using a rounded knife, create some creases at the elbow area. And repeat with the second arm. Next, attach the arms to the body. My fondant is quite sticky, so it sticks by itself, but if you need, you can use a small amount of water. Shape the shoulders to look realistic. I made a small bow tie just by cutting out 2 triangles. Insert the shoes. Now I'm going to make it look like he has one hand in his trousers, in the pockets. So I'm just putting the arm underneath the jacket and I'm going to make only one hand. Just put a small skin color fondant in between the hand and the pants to look like there is a hand in there. For the hand, take a small piece of skin color fondant, shape it into a teardrop shape, squish it in between your fingers, and then using the knife, cut out 5 fingers. I decided to make a smaller bow tie, so I changed the bow ties. And that is it. We are done. Imagine your friends' faces when you will surprise them with these unique cake toppers that you made by yourself using the Ovaniz Photo to Fondant face sculpting tutorial, which is our best-seller product at ovaniz.com. Of course, it's not only limited for wedding cake toppers, and you can make our friends and family. You can make your child, you can make your husband, you can make a celebrity, you can make your child's head on a superhero's body. The possibilities are endless, and this is a truly amazing product. Next is Just Married Fondant Cake Topper. So we printed out on a simple page Just Married. It needs to be some kind of handwriting, font, whatever you have on Word or whatever software you are using, but it's not supposed to be too thin as well. So we are cutting out the template. Okay, we will use about 80 grams of white fondant. Roll it out into a long strip to match our writing, and it's supposed to be approximately half centimeter thick. Place the template on the fondant to see that you have enough, and cut off the big chunk of the excess fondant. We don't want to waste fondant. Now leave this piece to dry a little bit for about 2 hours. It will be easier for you to cut out the writing. There are two options to attach the writing to the fondant. First, you can use toothpicks, insert them at both of the ends, and the other one is to glue the writing to the fondant using a small amount of water. I will show you both. And the reason for that, of course, is for the text not to move around while you're cutting. And we're starting to cut with the precision knife around the letters. insert 2 skewers in both of the ends and let it dry. After it's dried, you can clean the outlines of the letters. Now, using gold luster dust and food alcohol, I'm painting the letters gold. That's it. Leave it to dry for at least 48 hours and you're all set. And now for the surprise, we have a special coupon only for our YouTube subscribers, 10% off on all the tutorials on our website and the sculpting tools. So all you need to do to receive this coupon code is to write this code in our website at checkout and you are all set. So thank you for watching this tutorial. All the details are in the description box down below and at ovaniz.com. If you want to watch more tutorials about fondant figures and you guys like us have a passion for cake fondant decoration, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. This was Eve from Ovaniz. See you in the next videos. Stay sweet.